Hello, Max Wright here, and we're speaking with Gabriel Miron from, are you from Mexico?
Yeah,
You are from Mexico. The reason we're chatting is because you created is it the first trading platform in Mexico for Bitcoin?
yeah, correct.
Okay, cool. And can you catch us up on that? How's that going, and what's the environment like in Mexico with regard to Bitcoin?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so we're developing the first trading platform for Mexico and part of Latin America. At the moment, we are on development, and we hope to be in the following week and a half or 2 weeks on our first private beta version. We have a cash payment network of 130,000 places in Mexico where we can take cash for Bitcoins.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool because we can take Walmart and Oxxo and 7-Eleven, convenience store, pharmacies, everywhere. People can pay us in cash and they can get their Bitcoins.
Okay, fabulous. And then, now it's not just, so you run the exchange,
Yeah.
but it's also a trading platform, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot more features in there, so you'll be able to see market depth, you'll be able to place orders.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
we're going
exciting.
for the trading platform, not
Okay.
for the fixed rate exchange.
Okay, cool.
That's our goal.
Now, so you're opening up, and that goes live in 2 weeks. That's very exciting.
But the private beta.
Private beta.
Private beta. We're going to be doing some testing, some security testings. We're developing the tech, and like security is it's a really important for us.
Yeah, of
So
course.
we're concentrating a lot of our energy over there
Okay,
to have
fabulous.
it really tight when it's live for everybody.
Okay, and can you give us a little bit? So is the initial launch planned to be Mexico only?
At the beginning, yes.
Yes.
We have, because there's the places where we have the cash payment network, we have also wire transfers, but the idea is to expand it to all Latin America and enable other traders to come in and place their orders.
So is the platform going to be in Spanish?
Yes, at the moment, yes.
Okay, so it's going to be a Spanish platform initially for you'll have Mexican bank accounts and this Mexican payment network.
Correct.
Where people can put in their cash, get Bitcoin, and then they can trade in and out of the platform, and of course trade on the platform.
Correct.
Very exciting. And so, well, I mean, what made you get into Bitcoin? Why did you decide to fill this niche in Mexico?
Okay, well, in September of last year, we got involved with Seedcoin. It's a virtual incubator of Bitcoin startups in Hong Kong. So we saw that there was a huge opportunity in Latin America, especially Mexico, and that there weren't no exchange in the region. So we decided to start working, and we have been in this in September. And it's a huge opportunity. We really see like the region, it's really interesting. There's money, it's growth, so it can be a really interesting market for Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about Latin American market for Bitcoin. I think, I mean, the more distressed the economy, the more need for a Bitcoin. And so we see what's going on in Venezuela at the moment, Argentina, and these poor people are just crying out for a stable currency. And I see you're very well positioned to enter those markets as soon as you can. You may or may not be first to market in there. That's an interesting point. Where in Latin America are you finding, after Mexico, will be the most easily available regulatory-wise?
I think Colombia probably.
Okay.
You have like Latin America divides in two parts. You have countries like Venezuela, like Argentina, a little bit like Brazil, Ecuador, that are having a lot of difficulties with their currencies. And then the other end, you have countries like Colombia, like Peru, like Mexico, like Chile, that has really strong economies and their currency is pretty stable. So in these four countries that I mentioned at the last, we're going to be concentrating. You have much more stable situations to operate. The regulations are pretty much more clear, and they're much open to do business. Venezuela facing a really difficult time.
Yes.
So in Argentina has a lot of fluctuation and devaluation of their currencies, and there are several companies that are working already in Argentina.
Cool. Now, are you doing? We've just there were a week or two past the last Gox fiasco, the final nail in the Gox coffin. Have you thought about providing any assurances or any methodology of providing extra security or extra assurances that people's bitcoins are really there?
Yeah. That's why we had launched. We're working really tight on our security. We're getting advice in every matter we can take, so something like that doesn't happen. But we're taking our precautions, and we're focusing a lot of our energy for that point.
Right, and that's I think one of the first exchanges to solve these problems are going to have a huge first to mover advantage.
Yeah.
So I think very quickly it'll become standard. I don't know what the I'm not a security expert. I don't know what the form will look like, but we've chatted to people here at this conference offering two-factor authentication. We've seen actually third parties being multi-sigs on accounts. So there's lots of exciting things that the market is going to provide these solutions for, and the sooner those exchanges get on board, the quicker it'll be, making a safer environment for everybody. One final question: which countries are the most exciting in terms of uptake in Bitcoin in Latin America?
Well, I think it's really interesting what's happening in Brazil. Really, really interesting. And I think Mexico also can play a really interesting role. For example, right now we have been doing the meetups. We're doing Mexico City, we're doing Guadalajara, Monterrey, we're gonna do Cancun, and we're getting like 100 attendees, 80, in the first ones.
Wow.
It's really, really interesting. People want to know more, and they want to invest. They want to know how to use it, and they're also starting to see how that can be useful, not only for investment, but for moving money.
Right, of course. Like remittance.
Yes. Well, the remittance is a huge market. Like for example, 38% of the remittance market flows to Mexico and Latin America.
Really?
It's $23 billion monthly. And the interesting thing is 37% of Mexican immigrants are concentrated in Texas and 21 in California. Well, I think maybe it's 21 in Texas or 30, but the total amount is 51% of the Mexican immigrants live in Texas and California.
So what was the figure you quoted? Did you say $20 billion a month?
23. No.
Annually.
Annually.
$23 billion annually flowing from North America to Mexico.
Yeah, and 51% is concentrated in Texas and California.
Awesome. And so you've got these, you've got the payment network, you've got the trading platform, you've got the exchange, ready to rock and roll. When will you be seeking more funding?
Probably in fall. In fall. Right now, we raised a round with Seedcoin. We have partnered with them, and we have our clear goals. We have to launch, we have to get our transactions, get the security tight. We're starting to build a team, the operations part, the security part, everything. So I think it's going to be probably in fall.
Very cool. And then, sorry, I'm from the Southern Hemisphere, so you got to help me with fall. What does that mean?
Fall, mid-fall, I think like probably August.
August, okay, yeah. Fantastic. Cool, and I do have one more question. Oh yeah, what is the regulatory environment like in Mexico? Have they shown their hand at all? Are they perceived to be friendly or not?
Okay, look, at the beginning, La Comisión Nacional Bancaria, this is the commission, I don't know what's the name in English, sorry, said that, for example, they were going to put ATMs in Mexico. So they said that it was okay, but they weren't related to the financial system. So that's the only thing they have said. There's no more comments. But, for example, in our case, Bitcoin is not regulated, but what the activity we're doing is regulated because we're taking users' funds and deposited them.
Right.
So in a trustee account.
Right.
So any company that's gonna do that has to follow certain rules so users are secure. So there's a clear guideline that we have to follow. AML, KYC. If we receive fund deposits that are bigger of X amount, we have to report them to the authorities and have our clear procedures for our activities.
Okay, I think uncertainty is the biggest hiccup when it comes to regulation. Sounds like Mexico sounds relatively certain.
Yeah, it's not a financial instrument. Like Bitcoin is not a financial instrument, but what we are doing, it's regulated.
Right.
So that's really positive because you know what you have to do.
Yes.
And there are procedures.
Yes.
It takes investment and type. Yeah. So that's good. I think Mexico probably is going to play an interesting role. I'm really optimistic.
Excellent. I'm very excited about this. I'm surprised it's taken so long. But Gabriel, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the work you're doing in Mexico.
Okay, no, thanks to you.
Take care.